In science fiction, wormholes act as cosmic shortcuts that go in between different realities. I believe the gates are wormholes. Obviously, the orb is something meaningful, and it's right above Hawkins' lab, which I went down a rabbit hole of that possibly being a black hole kind of situation. They just said it's a wormhole. I'm gonna freak out. Guys, I wasn't far off. Holy. Hello, everybody. My last Stranger Things theory video did more amazing than I thought it would. I thought it would actually get 3 views and that would be the most, but it's actually got 90, so thank you to all my supporters. Currently, me and my mother are driving back from Jackson. I was able to go and see the film set before the new season. We have our matching squawk things on right now, and we're just ready for the finale. Tonight I'm gonna go to my friend's house. We have a little watch party planned and I'm very excited, but before that I had to give my final theories and predictions for this season finale. Let's start. Okay, my first theory that I have the most on is that Vecna, or Henry Creel, is actually good. Now let me tell you why. I believe that Henry is trapped in his own mind. Similarly to Holly and Max, he's going to have to confront his biggest scary memory, and through that he'll be able to go out. Who do I think he's trapped by? The Mind Flayer. Now, in the first Shadow, before he was totally Vecna, he was able to fight the Mind Flayer's control, make his own decisions, and he was actually a pretty good kid. And at the end of the show, his love interest, Patty Newby, who's the stepsister to Bob Newby, he ends up like accidentally killing her, or the Mind Flayer kind of kills her, or he kills her subconsciously. I kind of forget what happens, but moral of the story is she dies. And there's a scene in the trailer that has kind of stage curtains with a low background. I'll insert it here. And a lot of people are speculating that this is the Patty Newby scene, which if that's the case, then he'd be confronting this memory and he'd be able to fight with everyone against the Mind Flayer to merge both worlds. I think that Vecna, like outwardly, is like the Mind Flayer. Similarly to how Will is Vecna's vessel, I believe Vecna is the Mind Flayer's vessel, and that Henry's in his own mind. We see this as an example when Will was talking like crazy in season 2 when the Mind Flayer was controlling him, and he was able to send the Morse code to Hopper, Joyce, and Mike and the rest of the party to show that he was still within himself. So, that's my theory. My next theory is the Mind Flayer body theory. There are 12 kids being used to summon the merging of worlds through the wormhole, and there are also 12 legs of the Mind Flayer. Keep that in mind. Season 5, we see the kind of capsule that the kids are being hidden in, which is this weird looking upside down spider with nails kind of thing. And most people would think that it's a tree or something, but I believe that, okay, this is a really like out there theory, but I think that that could have been the Mind Flayer's physical body before it was a dust sort of thing, or it could have been its physical body in Dimension X. I only thought of this theory because in season 5, episode 4, the table read, which is on the internet, in the script, in the description of what's being shown within the script at the table read, it says that the capsule the kids are in, word for word, is like the rib cage of a monster.
It looks like the inside of a monster's rib cage.
Now, this could be that this thing is the Mind Flayer's body. That's what I think. He could be wanting to merge the worlds so he has more power to resurrect, his body. My final theory is Will is currently under the influence of Vecna / the Mind Flayer. The only person's transformation with not being held by the Mind Flayer and then being held by it is Billy. Billy was also taken over by the Mind Flayer or Vecna, whoever, and it actually was the Mind Flayer, but the only reason we could tell that he was taken over by that or something bad was because we as the audience were getting insight through his point of view. This season, just because we don't have insight through Will's point of view doesn't mean Will isn't being taken over by the Mind Flayer. And I think that's the big plot twist, as many people think. The similarities are Will is shown standing in the same Henry Creel stance that we see Billy in, which was a parallel between season 4 and season 3 when it came to Billy being taken over by the Mind Flayer. Also, the Mind Flayer thrives in cold environments, and in season 5, when Will's seen outside the cabin with his mother, Joyce looks shivered to the bone, and Will has on a light t-shirt. And when she asks where his coat is, he's like, oh, it's in the barn. Like, he's not fazed. Then, the moment of Vecna or the Mind Flayer taken over, Henry's from the 1950s. In the play, Melvald's was an ice cream little diner, milkshake, whatever. In present day of the show, Melvald's is a grocery store. In Will's coming out scene, he says, Melvald's, I love getting milkshakes at Melvald's. Nobody gets milkshakes there because it's a general store. So I don't know why that was written in. Also, he goes, and I love getting lost in the woods. How can you like getting lost in the woods if that's like your most traumatic thing as a child? That's not Will. That's definitely the Mind Flayer talking. Even though Will isn't taken over fully by the Mind Flayer can still use him as a spy. Insert clip of Vecna saying he's going to use him as a spy. Henry was a nice kid in school at certain moments, but at other moments it was like a split kind of personality because the Mind Flayer in the bad moments, I think, was taking over him. And their powers aren't their only similarities between Henry and Will, which could be a foreshadowing using Henry's plot for Will's plot. And I think that since they both grew up drawing, they both grew up as the weird kid, they were both bullied, they both were controlled by the Mind Flayer and given traumatic experiences, that's a very foreshadowing parallel for the show. Another reason why I think Vecna is being controlled by the Mind Flayer right now is an Easter egg we get from the Squawk radio station that's happening from London right now. Now, in the Squawk radio station, the two hosts are Mindy Flair and Vecna Goodman. Now, Mindy Flair obviously is Mind Flayer. Vecna Goodman, where are they getting Goodman? If you spell it out, it's Vance Goodman. I misspoke. It's Vecna Goodman. man, like Vecna's the good guy, like they're trying to tell us. Also, there's many like things that they're saying in the radio station that gives the impression that Mindy Flair kind of has control over Vance Goodman, because there's been times where he'll kind of mention that Mindy is in control. He like decides what like coffee he has, or what is this, and like Mindy gets her way and all this stuff. And it's like, why would he be saying that if there wasn't an alternative symbolism there? So I thought that was very interesting. My ending predictions as a whole of this video would be that Max, Will, and 11 use Henry to show him his traumatic memories in order to wake him up, and as a group the whole party has to come together to defeat the Mind Flayer, and Hawkins will be saved. My death predictions, hopefully Callie. I don't know, the Duffer Brothers haven't killed anyone off this season, so I really don't know if there's going to be as many deaths as they say. This whole prediction with 11 sacrificing herself, I kind of predicted that from the beginning, so that wouldn't shock me either. But at this point, I don't really care either way, so I don't really have a prediction on it. I think either 11 or Will, or both, have to die. I think 11's definitely dead, and I clocked that from the beginning. So I think 11's gonna die. Or I've been seeing theories like Callie's gonna make an illusion that she sacrificed herself and then she's gonna go into hiding, and I think that's a stretch. I think she's dead. But they kind of revealed it already, so it's kind of anticlimactic for me now. But yeah, those are my ending theories. I'm excited to watch the ending tonight, and I hope everybody enjoyed this theory video. Thanks for watching.